couple of stories to catch up with today. Hey TV Ord. Hey Louise. Hey Carol. Hey Gwen. Hey Mrs. Flo. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it, shall we? Let's start with a cute story. This actually came out a few days ago, but I hadn't touched upon it yet. I must have missed it. Was Andreas? He spoke to People magazine and he spoke about his admiration for Harry and Meghan's philanthropic and their daily lives. So he spoke about how the couple comes together just like any other family while discussing his new cookbook, Spain My Way. He says they made their kitchen the meeting place like every other family. He says, I love how Meghan interacts with her children and food, he added. Andreas, of course, has been featured in Meghan's lifestyle series with Love Meghan on Netflix and through World Central Kitchen. Archwell Philanthropies has been supporting Hoja and Andreas' work and their delivery of food to various disaster zones, including Puerto Rico, Gaza, and I think some other refugee camps as well. And he also says, when we see each other or when we have conversations, we talk about what everybody else talks about, right? Life, family, good times, new dish, new restaurant. There you go. He also described how World Central Kitchen, which provides meals to communities impacted by disasters, brings food and water quickly in emergencies through on-the-ground aid. He says, in the worst moments of humanity, you see the best of humanity shows up, he said, of the organization, which is in its 16th year. He said that he often gets calls and texts from Harry and Meghan when disasters occur asking, what can we do here and how can we help you? See, consistent and always involved. Not like some people who don't show up to their charities for 8 years, when they do, they show up on a Zoom call and then get called out by their charity on a Zoom call. Like some people we know. Nobody finds out about these moments and they do it often, all the time. So I'm telling you, Harry and Meghan are always working behind the scenes. He also goes on to say they are always caring about all the things happening in the world. They don't have to do that, Andreas said. They sincerely do it because they care. He also said they can decide to live a life in the comfort of their home, but I love that they are there even when nobody's looking. They're just there making sure that they can also be part of the solution. That's why I'm proud to call them friends, he said. He added that he respects the couple for always being the focus of public attention, yet maintaining a normal life. And of course, Harry was at Andreas's cookbook release party at the end of last month. So the book combines the things Andreas loves, including Spanish cooking, and also mixes that with storytelling. So there. Once again, from the people that know Harry and Meghan, that are involved with them day in and day out, involved with their work, just singing honest praises about them. And sorry, let me just sip my tea. And you just never hear anything bad from the people that know Harry and Meghan the most. Mina, you said, I sent you an article that Feminagra wrote about this new book about royal women. Oh, I'm actually covering that in the podcast, so thank you so much. I'm going to cover that later. David Ord, why does Kate always wear white to other women's weddings? Well, I'm going to cover that also It's not so much that she wears white. It's like she wears stuff that photographs as like almost white or off white. Hey Mush, she said, wow, I caught a live. It's been a while. Nice to see you here. I'm pretty sure she does it to catch attention. Hi, Joseph Bruno. Okay. What shall we cover next? Oh, this fool. This has been circulating for a while. One of the funny things about With Love Meghan is that it exposed just how much some people don't have home training. Were never given home training. Oh, give me 1 sec, folks. Yes, so I was saying, their mothers never told them to keep fine china for the guests, how to set a table, how to present their food, how to just do basic homekeeping and welcome guests, and look after yourself. And that is why you get silly commentary like this. Take a listen to this nonsense. So the lady being Shady is the one in the horrid blue dress. The black lady with the long hair. This was just her TikTok, and she was responding to that lady.
I'm disgusted.
Oh, well, who with?
All the royals, to be quite honest.
Oh, whoops. That is the wrong audio. Sorry, I think it's this one.
How can a British national television bring on someone to say this?
It's not a hate towards her, Sonia. It's actually, I will say this, I hate the kind of bombastic perspective that this particular person, Meghan, is somehow better than everybody else, and she is somehow pretending to give us something that's actually going to be something we're going to be able to follow. Nobody's going to follow those recipes. Nobody makes tea bags for their guests to have a bath. I mean, they're lucky if they get fresh towels.
Your guests will be lucky if they get fresh towels.
The reason why I'm laughing is that it's completely out of touch and completely divorced from reality.
Come on, guys, we can do so much better. What do you mean this is completely out of touch? What do you mean? What happened to England being a place where people had manners and people had courtesy and people were raised well, to treat guests with respect and kindness? And what happened to that England? This is honestly ridiculous. Some of us had home training, okay? Yeah, thank you.
So I'm going to play that again, and then I want to give some commentary.
How can a British national television bring on someone to say this?
It's not a hate towards her, Sonia. It's actually, I will say this, I hate the kind of bombastic perspective that this particular person, Meghan, is somehow better than everybody else, and she is somehow pretending.
And who says that she's better than everybody else? Who says that? And what's different from Meghan's show specifically that's different from any other lifestyle show or blog, book, influencer? There are literally thousands. She just happens to be a very well-known person. So you mean to tell me that everybody who starts an Instagram page or starts giving cooking tips online thinks that they're better than everybody else? Like, the projection.
Give us something that's actually going to be something we're going to be able to follow. Nobody's going to follow those recipes. Nobody makes tea bags.
Nobody's going to be following those recipes, and yet literally I was retweeting and reposting every single day people posting Meghan's recipes. Do you know who this appeals to? This appeals to a certain class of people who have just given up on life, who were never taught to self-actualize. My mother always told me that even the man who lives under the tree still sweeps under his tree. As in, it doesn't matter what circumstances you find yourself in life, you always make sure that you keep your surroundings as clean as possible as a sign of self-respect. It doesn't matter where you are. I spent my early childhood in a very humble flat in Leytonstone. And in that flat, I was still taught to set a table. We still had, the nicest china that you could get from Woolworths in a cabinet. I was still taught to cook. I was still taught to iron and fold my clothes. I was still taught how to organize a house. I was still taught homekeeping. It has nothing to do with money. It's all about class, and you can't buy class. And this is just some unhinged
bags for their guests to have a bath. I mean, they're lucky if they get fresh towels.
Your guests will be lucky if they get fresh towels.
The reason why I'm laughing is that it's completely out of touch and completely divorced from reality.
It is absolutely not out of touch. Mind you, back when With Love Meghan aired, one of the interesting things was the variations of different people who are inspired by With Love Meghan. So you had people, again, that were very working class, who live in very normal houses. There are also people who are wealthy, who are posting. So it was a mixture of people, including, when I say wealthy people of color, because this is another thing. It's not just about that it's Meghan, it's that Meghan's a woman of color. I hope this lady doesn't discover the side of TikTok and Instagram where wealthy people of color have beautiful homes and have 5-star, homemade dinners. She might combust.
Come on, guys, we can do so much better. What do you mean this is completely out of touch? What do you mean? What happened to England being a place where people had manners and people had courtesy and people were raised well?
Exactly, that is such a good point. And this is the reason why this is really just about the fact that Meghan is a woman of color. This woman would not be ranting about Martha Stewart. She would not be ranting about Gwyneth Paltrow. They can only imagine this type of lifestyle on a certain person. And that's why it elicits such a ridiculous reaction.
To treat guests with respect and kindness. And what happened to that England? This is honestly ridiculous. Some of us had home training, okay? Yeah, thank you.
Exactly. Don't hate it because you ain't it, ma'am. Don't hate it because you ain't it. Thank you so much to Mush. I did see your comment earlier, Mush. Thank you for the super sticker. You have been here, but just silent. Appreciate you. Thank you. Oh no, the black lady is the lady that was responding to the crazy troll. Yeah, your guests are lucky to get fresh towels? What, so do you give them dirty towels? Does she give them dirty towels? Ugh. Won't want to go around your house. I mean, the way that she talks, I'd be surprised if she has guests at all. All right, speaking of etiquette, this. Now, one of the interesting conversations that was at Meghan's wedding was the outfit that Kate showed up in. Now, it is meant to be a very, very light yellow, but in the sunlight, from some angles, it was looking white. Now, me personally, I don't really care for this kind of wedding etiquette, but that's just because if I ever get married, I want everyone to show up incredibly glamorous. There's that saying, if you go to a Zambian bride's wedding, you'll never outdo the bride. But in some cultures, and certainly in these aristo circles, there's this whole thing about you can't wear a light color. You can't wear white or anything that looks like white on the wedding day. So this is something, and we know that these are people that are strict about their protocol, or at least when it benefits them. Don't do this, don't do that, don't wear tights, don't breathe too deeply. And they weaponize that protocol when it's convenient. So it's quite interesting. that Kate seems to break it. So to this recent royal wedding, she wore Roland Moret. To Peter Phillips and Harriet Sperling's wedding. Now this is meant to be like a, well, Vogue was saying that it's a blush pink. I think that it's more of like a light beige. Just the one at the bottom where she's wearing a hat. So you got the one at, so she wore a similar kind of shade to Pippa's wedding. Also, Camilla was also being shady with the dress code, it looks like. At worst, it's more of a cream or an off-white, the one that she wore to the more recent wedding. So people are asking, why does Kate keep wearing such light colours to other people's weddings? She kind of got away with it in 2017 at her sister's wedding. Which, to be fair, it was more of like a dusty rose. But then came, obviously, Harry's wedding in 2018. And she wore this off-white kind of lemon meringue McQueen coat dress that she had previously worn to Princess Charlotte's christening. And over the years, we've heard different versions of whether or not it was primrose, yellow, or whatever. But I actually believe that Kate wore off-white to the Sussex wedding. So now we come back to Kate's dress at the Peter Phillips wedding. And some outlets were calling her out in a backhanded way. So at most weddings in the United Kingdom and the United States, wearing anything close to white is considered a faux pas, unless it's requested by the couple getting married. Yet Kate wore an elegant cream-coloured look to a wedding on Saturday with little fanfare. She was also wearing Diana's jewelry. But the way they were trying to spin it was because this is this lady's second wedding, it was okay. Actually, it's okay to wear white to someone's second wedding. It's not a... I don't believe that that's a thing. I think that perhaps Kate and Camilla are trying to make it... Camilla actually looks like she's wearing closer to white than Kate on this occasion. Which is also quite interesting. I would expect it from Kate because Kate does these things all the time. But from Camilla, interesting. Even the Daily Mail called out Kate. With the headline, Kate broke a big wedding guest outfit rule at Peter Philip and Harriet Sperling's royal wedding. I guess that was her way of getting a headline. Anyway, me personally, I've never really paid too much attention to Kate's style, but I did think it was quite shady that she wore the off-white to Meghan's wedding. I generally felt that that was underhanded shade, especially after all of that Meghan made Kate cry nonsense. As always, the bar is in hell. Why does she keep doing it? I don't know. TV Audrey said, I've never heard that one. You never wear white or anything close to white on a wedding unless it's your own. The entire royal family is divorced except for Edward and Sophie. Oh, those two stuck with each other for life. I mean, it's not like they'd have many life options if they divorced. No surprise that the horse would wear white to a person's wedding. Let's not forget she did it when Princess Diana got married. Really? Oh God, I have to look back at the pictures. She wore white to Diana? Really? I mean, I knew her shady ass was in the crowd, but I never paid attention to what she was wearing. Interesting. Hilarious. Anyway, for those of you who like to pick up on the royal fashion, Next thing that I wanted to touch on. So let me get out my notes. Yeah, I never actually paid attention to this initially, but I wanted to touch on Tom Sykes. And he flew to Geneva when Meghan was doing her speech, but he actually skipped Kate's Italy trip. And yeah, he found his passport. He dusted off his passport to get on the plane to go follow Meghan. But he lost it again when Kate was going to Italy. So he's a Daily Beast royal editor. And is also author of The Royalist. And he seems to have mastered a very peculiar brand of royal journalism that runs on a simple formula. Declare Meghan irrelevant, desperate nova, and then build an entire media career, proving otherwise. It's very strange. Oh, and then also follow her wherever she goes. Oh, and then also fly 12 hours to LA and then 12 hours back to London just to look at her jam in a shop. And, you know, his coverage, it's not just like it's skeptical, but it's actually quite openly hostile. So, this one from Feminagra. On his Royalist podcast, Sykes gleefully reported that Montecito neighbours consider Harry and Meghan's house a laughingstock. Oh, really? How would he know? He's not even invited there. Has he even ever been to Montecito? Did he even know where it was on the map before Harry and Meghan moved there? He also very frequently relies on anonymous palace-adjacent sources and former staff and claims what friends of Prince William are apparently saying. Friends, wink, 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 of Prince William are apparently saying this, that, and the third. He definitely gets briefed. So with Meghan appearing in Geneva on May the 17th for the Lost Green Memorial, which was the installation created by Archwell Philanthropies. Give me a second. Let me get this off the screen. Yeah, in partnership with the Parents Network. Sykes decided to make the trip to go and cover. And these journalists who claim Meghan is irrelevant still chase her across borders. And the optics are quite awful. And they reveal a press corps that cannot quit the woman it claims to despise. They literally cannot. For the life of them, because she is their lifeline. And Meghan went to Switzerland to do an event that had nothing to do with the Royal Circus. You know, Meghan is a former working royal with no institutional power. So why does the royal media ecosystem still treat her like the main event? Meghan is very much not just still relevant, but valuable, and will be for a very long time. Meghan will be valuable to the royal beat and news cycle literally for decades to come. Meghan is what? She's in her 40s. So 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, glowing as much as she is. Meghan has another 4 or 5 decades of glowing. And she will, in that time, I'm telling you, she will still be the most relevant royal, even then. I mean, give as ever 10 years, we'll get $1 billion valuation. After that, I mean, who knows what else we're going to get. We've got movies in the pipeline, whatnot. So, but in the next 10 to 20 years, I don't even think that we'll be talking about Harry and Meghan in terms of royals. Yes, they've still got. Yes, Harry's still a prince, and Meghan is still a princess via marriage. But I don't even think we'll be talking about Harry and Meghan as royals in 10 or 20 years. I think there will be Harry and Meghan, the brand, Harry and Meghan producers, Harry and Meghan philanthropists. I don't even think the royal part, that'll be a footnote, I think. Anyway, I had actually missed that he had gone to Geneva, but missed Kate. And to be honest, what would he even be covering over there? Because Meghan remains the most powerful figure in the royal media ecosystem. And that's not because she seeks the spotlight, but because the spotlight refuses to leave her alone. Kate's Italy trip could have been covered with a few nice photos and a press release. Meghan's Geneva appearance required live coverage. It required live coverage on the ground. So while the press says Meghan wants attention, the people who keep showing up on are not Meghan. They are the reporters who cannot stop watching her. If she's so relevant, stop chasing her, but they will not, because the outrage economy depends on her. And that, more than anything, is the real story. Amen. Amen, amen, amen. Living rent-free in people's minds. Now, let's have a read of what this so-called book is about. Apparently, there is a new book that talks about royal women. Let's see what this is about. It's called Divide and Rule. I actually don't think I have that's quite annoying. I actually don't have the picture. But the book itself is called Divide and Rule. Now, what I'm interested to know about this book is, does it cover royal women in an intersectional way, in the way that it talks about Meghan and how race played a part in, her place in the royal family? So the book's called Divide and Rule, and it's by a feminist writer called Catherine Mayer. Divide and Rule: Royal Women and Their Battles, which profiles figures from Anne Boleyn to Meghan, Kate, Princess Diana, and Camilla. It's out June 18th, if anybody wants to read it. And sorry, just hang on a sec, folks. So, gosh, there's so many parts to this article, but I want to get to the meat and bones of it. So a lot of it is about royal women and the myths that we project onto them. And that her central argument is that royal women are often set up as rivals. And I guess I get the premise of that, but also there are some royal women who create the rivalries themselves. So, Camilla never had to involve herself with affairs with Charles. Kate never had to behave as jealous as she did. Diana and Camilla were placed in opposition through a marriage, an affair, and a succession crisis. Granted, Camilla could have easily removed herself from that equation. Meghan and Kate were, both women who married into the same family. But there was no, romantic triangle between the couples. In fact, in Spare, Harry said that initially William and Kate were fans of Meghan because they had seen her in Suits. and that they, William and Kate couldn't even believe Harry's luck. But then the jealousy came in. And this is where deeper dynamics about race, hierarchy, gender, class, and the attention economy comes in. Because with Meghan, the story isn't just simply two royal women are pitted against each other. Meghan represents something historically significant. And so, from the lens of Catherine Myers, I wonder how intersectional her lens is. To be able to appreciate how different the dynamics are when a biracial American woman entered one of the oldest non-diverse institutions in the world and became globally visible almost overnight, and then became a lightning rod for anxieties about race, class, femininity, empire, and modernity, and all of these things. It is quite fascinating and horrifying how royal women are treated and how society treats them. Because the treatment tells us so much about the world around us. Hilary Mantel was criticized for calling Kate a mannequin, but it wasn't so much about Kate herself versus what the institution expects. And what Kate molded herself into to get into this institution and what she continues to uphold to stay in it. But in this modern era, how that has just not worked. And so royal women, the royals in general become symbols, but royal women, when you then bring in misogyny, misogynoir, sexism, the expectations that are placed on women, is very interesting to analyze. People project their, values, fears, fantasies, resentments onto royal women in many different ways. That's essentially what happened, whether it's Anne Boleyn, Elizabeth I, II, Queen Victoria, Diana, Camilla, Kate, Meghan, in many, many different ways. So, in the past, the writer of this book has acknowledged the racism directed at Meghan was real and that the abuse is wildly disproportionate. So that gives me some hope that her analysis will be more nuanced than the usual royal commentary. But I'm also watching carefully to see whether or not the book falls into the same trap that many black feminist thinkers have warned about, treating womanhood as if race does not change the terms of the conversation. So that's where Maya could fall short. But I'm not going to read the book. I think any serious analysis of Meghan must acknowledge, a couple of central facts. That the press and the palace did not treat her simply as a royal woman. They treated her as a black royal woman. And that distinction reshaped every attack and every comparison and so-called scandal around her. So I think while Maya may be trying to critique through this concept of divide and rule, I think if she is not well-rounded in her argument to analyze and include all of the things specifically levied against Meghan, then this book will probably fall short. So it is called Divide and Rule. If you want to go, I'm not advocating for this book, by the way, because I don't know the fullness of this author's work. But somebody even mentioned it in the comment section today, and I had the story lined up. So y'all tell me what you think. I won't be reading it. For me, the only royal books that I am reading are ones either by Harry or Meghan. That's it. Joseph Bruno said they should rename the Daily Fail Meghan's World. I think they should. I mean, the Daily Fail could literally do a spin-off of their online paper and literally just write stories about Meghan. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave that there. Thank you so much, as always, y'all, for coming along. Appreciate you. Please do hit that thumbs up button and subscribe button on your way out. And if you're watching on replay, hit that hype button. Hype button, I think, really matters now because the YouTube algorithm is a whole disappointment. It's really suppressing our videos, so please make sure that you are sharing, commenting, liking, subscribing, like all of these things help us catch the algorithm. Because when people look for Harry and Meghan, it's all of the nonsense and troll stuff that come up. I'm surprised, even to this day, that I even found Sussex Squad podcast all the way back in the day. Because often when you look for Harry and Meghan news, it's all the haters that come up first. So please do support in that way. Thumbs up button, please. Hype button, please. And remember to put the notifications on when you want to know when I'm going live, because a lot of the time, you know, I can't really pre-schedule a live for like the day before or something. So put notifications on so you can know as soon as I'm going live. And I will see you tomorrow, folks. Ciao.